This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock.
Hello, and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena there is a new control deck making the rounds, so sign me up. We're going to dive into that one. It is Titan's Nest. Titan's Nest SULTAI control, built around this little enchantment that does a whole lot more than I think people realize at first glance. So it's got a lot of weird text, one in a black, in a green, and a blue. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. You may put it into the graveyard. Exile a card from your graveyard. Add colorless. Spend this mana only to cast a spell that's one or more colors without X in its mana cost. It has to be one or more colors, and it can't have X in its mana cost. Those two things shut down a lot of the suggestions that are already being hammered into the comments from various people. You can't cast an Ulamog or a Mascot Exhibition with this thing. You can't cast Ugin with it. You also can't play cards that like draw X cards, that kind of thing. So, yeah, what can you do? Well, you can play a Shark Typhoon on the cheap. You can also play an Alrund's Epiphany on the cheap and take some extra turns. You can play the new Professor Onyx on the cheap, and that's a good combo because Onyx also helps fill the graveyard with the +1, because the more you fill the graveyard, the more fuel you get. And there are some other new cards along the way. Curate is a new one. It's basically a Surveil 2-draw card, that good old Discovery, but at instant speed. Pretty good. You can just throw 2 cards into the graveyard and draw, and then you have fuel for your nest in the future. Strategic Planning is a reprint. That's a pretty big hit. Look at the top 3. Put one of them in your hand, the rest in the graveyard. So we fill the graveyard better than we did in the past, where we had to really rely on Thirst for Meaning and Reign of Revelation, and those cards are expensive. Now we can start on turn 2, which really is a bit of a game changer for the Nest deck. How do we actually win? Play a very cheap Shark Typhoon, then play a few cheap Alrund's Epiphanies. The deck churns through itself very quickly with all of the card draw. So the Kaheera in the sideboard is not necessarily the win con. It is a card that we get to run basically for free. This particular version of the deck is credited to JS2, username JS2, who got 14th in the $5,000 Strixhaven Championship Qualifier event running the list. So, pretty excited to see how it performs. I hear it's difficult to play. The interface is weird. Titan's Nest is a very odd card to use on MTG Arena. So, I'm not expecting an easy time of it, and considering that the season is winding down, I'm a little nervous. I also, in the sideboard, I included some lessons, environmental sciences teachings. We don't have any learn cards in the deck right now, but I really want to try Divide by Zero in the deck. I think that card is really good in Best of One, particularly because you can use free sideboard space and basically combine 2 cards in one. So I'm a big fan of Divide by Zero in all my blue decks. I do want to try it here, but I'm going to run the list as it is, first of all, because I do need it to work. I'm a little nervous that I might wreck the deck, so to speak. And yeah, we're near the end of the season. Can't be falling out of top 1200 with a wrecked deck. Just can't have it. Not this month, man. All right, Shilvor, thank you very much. This video is dedicated to you. You are a $9.99 patron, so thank you very much for supporting the channel. If you want to become a $9.99 patron, you will get a shout out in a video. So today's video is shouting out Shilvor. So the way that some people, they try to make up my rules. They think they understand the system. Look, first rule on this channel, I make the rules. It's my channel, but I will clue you guys in because you keep leaving me comments. If it's a patron, it's a shout out in a video. That's been the patron benefit for like a year. This is the shout out. I say their name and I say thank you patron. That's really cool. If it's a member, then first of all, they get randomly pulled from the group of other members for that day. And so there might be like 5 members who sign up. I choose 1. I randomly choose 1. And then that member gets a cosmetic purchased in their honor. So if I go to the store and there aren't many cosmetics that I want to purchase and there's no good deals, then we shout out a patron. If there are some good deals or a cosmetic I want to purchase, Then we pick a random member from the day before. That's the system. It's my system. You don't make the rules. It's my house. All right. Anyway, that's a lot of blah blah. You guys are like, play the games. But let me say really quickly, please check out coolstuffinc.com. And this week, it ends on May 2nd, so there's still a few more days. If you use the promo code B2S, you will get 15% off of Mystical Archive singles. And these are shiny, and they are cool, and they are the main thing people are after in the Mystical Archive. So if you're thinking about getting any Mystical Archive singles for your paper commander decks or for your collection, please get a 15% discount using the code B2S. It does support the channel in a way because Cool Stuff Inc. sponsored the collaboration, the trip between that where I got to hang out with MTG Nerd Girl and play with a bunch of paper product and also make a bunch of content. So if you enjoyed that, then please consider checking out some of those Mystical Archive singles. Use the promo code B2S. CoolStuffInc.com. Let's dive in. Let the nonsense begin.
Get ready to enroll in Strixhaven University with our back-to-school promotion. Take 15% off all Mystical Archive singles and receive a free pair of CovertGoBlue and MTG Nerd Girl's exclusive tokens when you use the promo code B2S at checkout. The promotion ends May 2nd. So head over to CoolStuffInc.com. Cool stuff in stock.
Gigantha. Okay. Hand looks fine. Here they come. You. Please stop. Please stop. What do you guys think? To blow up the man or the innkeeper? Well, it's the innkeeper. Can we find some kind of a sweeper effect, or are we just going to die? Can we afford to take a turn and dig with thirst, or do we have to kill the beast and avoid that? I think I have to dig. I know it's a lot of damage, but we gotta do something. Also, the bluff of a counter might slow the opponent down. Probably not. They'll probably just play something no matter what. But maybe we find Extinction Event and punish it. Yeah, see? They do not care. That's so disheartening when that happens. Alright, Giant Killer and land. Could be worse. Could be worse. So, this Heartless Act isn't any good. We should get it spent now, since the other play I'm going to make is the Eliminate. And we should do it with the trigger on the stack before the opponent can get free +1/+1 counters. Otherwise, they can counter the Heartless Act by casting something at instant speed. Interesting. Clarion Spirit, that's a nightmare. Another beastie. Okay, so they're going to play land and they're going to play another beast. I guess we have to kill the beast because they're going to have an army of 1/1s. Okay, they're not going to play the beast, then let's see. If they're not going to play the beast, we take out the Sentinel and prevent that damage. So next turn we have Nest, and we have a graveyard, so we can play the Shark Typhoon, but are we just dead? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're at 10. They would need 3 spells. I don't think they can do it. So we're going to play the Nest and the Typhoon, right? Right. I wonder if I was supposed to play the Thirst instead and try to find a sweeper, since I probably can't just completely go off next turn, but I can try to make enough blockers to keep me alive. I'm just going to be at such a low life total, and the opponent will have a giant killer. So I don't know. If the opponent can interact with either of these enchantments, we're also in huge trouble. Do your worst! Well, that's welcome. Down to 2. Hello. Library. You love to see it. All right, moving right along. The elk has come. Another one. I think we keep these because they help get through our deck and they make more 3/3s. Nice. All right, graveyard you. Draw. Let's discard the lands. There's a few ways that we could do it. We could play another Shark Typhoon. We could also Extinction Event this Giganta. I don't know if they have a way to make it unblockable. I don't think so. I'm thinking of the whole list and I can't find it. Gotta love the interface. It gets the job done, kinda. All right, Bone Crusher Giant off the top for the opponent is lethal. I would prefer that not happen. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Can this deck actually win a game? Let's go find out. So far, not my day. Titan's Nests. Rain. God, this card is expensive. This is the card I want to cut from the deck the most. Rain of Revelation. Maybe that's where Divide by Zero goes, but really I also just want counter spells. I just never have them. I'm always at the mercy of my opponent's anything. Like, I don't know, a 1-drop, for example. I guess a counterspell doesn't help me with that, does it? Card is so busto on the play. Just busto. Alright, I guess we should hold this. God, what I'd give for this to be something else. Let's see what they do. Alright, we've got to slow the bleeding. It's too much damage. We'll be at too low a life total by the time we cast Extinction Event. So we can't be too greedy. Okay. Okay. And the beats go on. Alright, we did draw another land. That's nice. So, foretell this, or Kaheera. We might actually need the Kaheera in this matchup more. Just to have a blocker, if we never get enough mana to cast Alrund's Epiphany. Alright, please play an odd card. Winota! No? Okay. Blade Historian? No. Embercleave? Alright. I like being wrong when things like this happen. Sweet. What do I need more of? Blue or green? It's gotta be blue, right? Alright. Our opponent only has one card. If it's a Showdown of the Scalds, well, it's back to the races. Warslinger. Whenever it deals damage to a player, you may return a creature card X or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. Oh. Oh, that's what you want to do. Alright, so we can play a Titan's Nest. And we can play a Reign of Revelation. And then next turn we can do things. This turn, our opponent gets to reload a bit, but I don't think they kill us. I'm a little worried that I should have played this, because I might need another black. Please don't Skyclave Apparition my nest. Please. I really like it. It's my favoriteest thing in the world. They didn't listen. How dare they? Not give me what I want. Alright, draw some sweet cards. Look at those sweet cards. No removal in sight. No Alrund's Epiphany available. If I had foretold this Epiphany, I could play it. Since I didn't, it doesn't look like I can do that. Oh no. And we're at 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ugh! I goofed this up bad, didn't I? So I need to draw into a removal spell, I think. I think that's what it takes. Let's slow roll ourselves. This is definitely on me. Buying Kaheera was a fail. I thought a body to gum up the ground would be more useful, but it's not. Alright. Blue. Colorless. It has to be an Eliminator or Heartless Act, guys. Are you ready? Heartless Act. Discard an enchantment card. That deadweight looks mighty promising, though. But I guess if we untap, we're just taking 3 turns in a row, so forget it. Destroy target creature with no counters. That's you. So you're telling me there's a chance. Four to 20. I'm just trying to stay top 1200, gamer. Trying to do this, man. Come on, baby. No! Man, Bonecrusher Giant been stomping on my hope and dream today. All right. Here we go. Library. Not enough to cast it, though. Not yet. But not the worst card you've ever seen, is it? Okay, so let's cast. Pay that full price. Fill this graveyard. All right, we can draw this. And then fill the graveyard with it. All right, put both of you in the graveyard. Now there's a nice full graveyard. I can cast the Shark Typhoon, but I can't cast the Epiphany. Man, I'm so bad at this. Birds! Let's go. Graveyard. Shadow's Verdict. Let's see. 5, 6, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can do it. We can actually do it. Don't tap wrong. Don't tap wrong. We need the blue mana. Do not blow this for me. Is it too late? Will we be able to attack for the lethals? There's a 7/7. Opponent says, good game. They scoop. Okay, this was 13, not 14. I was a mana short of attacking for lethal. But from there, we can probably win the game. Like, we've gummed up the board. I don't know what they could draw into that would get us. Top 1200 gamer coming through. Just trying to stay there. We've got our colors. Blue, green, black. We're up against Luris. If they're rogues... We're on the draw again. If they're rogues, we need to find a nest. If they mill the nests, it's going to be very sad. Oh, yay, the crab. Yippee. No nest. Feels good. All right, I think we try to set up the Heartless Act. Get rid of one of this or either this or the Thought Thief, whichever they're going to put on the board. Gross. What's more important to kill? We still might be able to block this with a Typhoon. Let's go for the crab. Owie. And no land, go. So we can try to intercept it, or we can hit our tapped land and fill our graveyard and make this into a 3/2. I think I really want to have 4 mana, and I really, really want to find the nest. Like, that's probably the most important thing that we can do, is find the 2 counterspells in the deck and one of the 4 nests. They probably got another rogue here anyway. Man, I want to trade this card out. Just out of the deck. So expensive. Give me the divide by zeros. Give me the learns. Give me the lessons. Give me some counter spells. Give me something. I don't know. Opponent is taking it down to the wire here and doesn't make a play. So maybe they're just sitting on Heartless Act or Drown in the Lock. Curate. Opponent's like, stuff in the graveyard? I love it. There's a nest and a land. So put any number into the graveyard. I'm going to submit 0, and we're going to draw like this. So, 7 cards in the graveyard. Opponent with 2 mana open. How do I resolve this Titan's Nest? I need to force them to do something. The Shark Typhoon can help with that. If I get the Titan's Nest down, they're in big trouble. I can just exile my graveyard at will. So yeah, we'll make a Shark, try to block the Enforcer, see if we can get them to take an action. Okay, we're going to be that kind of rogue gamer. This is how they got to top 1500, the every turn rope. Just when they were starting to speed up. I hadn't been roped by rogues in a while, but here we've got the every turn rogue roper back in force. Let's hope they talk themselves into a play that involves leaving themselves in trouble to Titan's Nest. Yeah, you do get a 3/2. But are you going to let it die? Or are you going to snap off that you have a target for this Heartless Act? Let's find out. Eliminate, okay. All right. Do you have a mystical dispute? Well, I do. Nice. Very freaking nice. All right. So, we can cast something here, or we can hold up the dispute. I think we want to empty the... we want to, like, unload the graveyard a little, but we can do that like so. Like, we can just make mana and burn it. We can also say go. We have Mystical Dispute. What am I afraid of? Them casting into the story? There, it's a 1/1. Easy. How much mana do you plan to give me, opponent? Do we want to rain now? Yeah, they can't punish me with an into the story. And now you get to behold the beauty that is Titan's Nest versus Rogues. Go ahead, fill my graveyard. It's awesome. Go ahead, drown in the lock something. I'll just turn it into mana, I don't care. I guess it gets me further through the deck, so we keep. We could go for the Epiphany. They might have a Negate. But we don't have a lot to do with the Epiphany, so... Let's strategically plan. How about that? Sweet. Now I think we'll set up the Epiphany since we can back-to-back them. What do you got? You like that? You into that? They're into that. All right, let's refill the graveyard. Another nest. Don't think I need that unless I want to go through my deck faster, but maybe another blue source is just better. Let's see if the opponent remembers that there's another turn. They do. Okay. Sometimes you see them play things on the end step when they shouldn't. It's funny. I'm on the lookout for this nonsense. All right. I offer you these birds. I try to offer you these birds. I'm going to attack. You can't stop me. All right, blue, black. Let's try curating the deck. Opponent with a nice. Could mean anything. All right, let's put these into the graveyard. Seagate Restoration, that's a card. That is a card. How do I do this right? Let's see. 1, 2. How long do you think the rogue player can watch me do this? How about another Epiphany? Nice. All right. They're not going to counter this, so we can just pay 1 with it. They can if they want to. Discard 2 cards. This and this can go. Fill that graveyard. My turn? Is it my turn? 7 cards in grave. Let's go for 8. Okay. Do we buy the Kaheera to draw an extra card with the Seagate? I think that's Greed set. That's Greed City, right? We don't need to do that. Bang. Stock me up. 22 cards in my deck. You better not lose after all this. There's a Shark Typhoon. Okay. Let's see. We still have this, and this. So yeah, we want to cast the Shark Typhoon with all the graveyard mana. Here it comes. WinCon! It's not just burbs, baby. It's not just burbs. Do you have your CGB Shark token, opponent? It's way more fun with a CGB Shark token. Or so I'm told. Take that damage. Love it. Your turn. Oh, they waited so long for this moment. All right. Black, black. Eliminate. And Shark. Oh boy. Whatever will they do? Are you going to fill my graveyard for me? Yes. Yes, you are. Rogues can only be rogues. 15 cards in the deck. I guess I should have made a 3/3 and just tried to kill it with the Thirst for Meaning. Oh well. Lots going on around here. All right, my turn. Can we find one more Alrund's Epiphany? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Let's decline, hang on to the Typhoon, drop off a Planning and a Triome. Don't think I'll need those. Four cards in the graveyard. Let's see what the opponent does. Before we untap, anything? Anything at all. Maybe they're thinking they get to drown in the lock something. Oh, eliminate? Okay. That works. Let's make another. I got more where that came from. Nine cards. They tap out for the Heartless Act, okay. Well, that's game. We'll show them the end. Beats rogues. Living in the top 1,000. On the draw. 2 tap lands, 2 strategic plannings, Thirst, Curate, Extinction Event against Lurrus. It's a mulligan. We gotta take another shot to have good mana and the Nest. And here we have Mystical Dispute, so this hand is awesome. But what do we put back? I mean, on one hand, I'm not sure the Extinction Event will resolve. On the other hand, I could try to force it through. And we need some kind of removal. And I don't need to fill my own graveyard if they're rogues. So we'll put away the Planning. And we draw the Planning. And here we go again. Rogues being rogues. Tap land. Looks like they have another Enforcer. Nothing I can really do about it. Do we use a planning this turn and end up taking 6 from the Enforcers? I don't think so. So if that's the plan, we do this. If they go for a Thought Thief here, we might just be countering it to stay alive. Oh my god. And sometimes you can have a good hand and rogues just rogues you. Like, what are you supposed to do? Nothing. There's nothing you can do. Well, we drew a Heartless Act, so we can try to use that on one of these to stay alive. If they drown and lock the event, though, we're probably still dead. Yeah, they're having no problem curving out either. They hit all their land drops, and they played 3 Enforcers. If they have Drown and Lock or Into the Story left over, we're in huge trouble. But if they go for like an Into the Story here, we play Nest and just exile our graveyard. Also, they're 1 mana short of killing us. Or 1 life point short of killing us. This is interesting. They buy Lurrus. They buy Lurrus, guys? Let's go. Let's freaking go. You have to put stops down or else it will auto pass because the, let's see. The game thinks that you have nothing to play, but even with nothing to play, we can exile parts of our graveyard to reduce the damage that we take. Do we even want to do that, though? Do we even want to exile parts of our graveyard here? We could go to 1. 1 is so low, though. It's so low. And 7 mana next turn. We can still play the Shark Typhoon. And the Extinction Event, right? 5, 6, 7. That can be 8. We can still play both of these and have Dispute backup. So we should do this. Even if we're not using the mana, just to reduce the amount of damage. There you go. Take 1, 2. Nice. It's a good card. I guess I'll keep it. Yeah, your Drowning the Lock isn't going to do much. Here's a Typhoon. Hi. Hi there. What you doing? How you doing today? Do we go for the Extinction Event? I guess since we have a Verdict, you know, we could just tap out and go for the Verdict. But if the opponent has an end step play, that's pretty bad. Okay, so we have to tap out either way. Are we better off just holding up Mystical Dispute and making a Shark? I think so. Because eventually this comes down and then we get their odds with the event. So we do this. Another land wouldn't hurt. And it can help fill the graveyard. Not that we really need that. So let's take the Typhoon. We could play another Typhoon right now. Right now. That's broken. Opponent can't Into the Story because we have no graveyard. They can kill this 6/6 shark with the Drown in the Loch because there's no mana cost. But I still don't think they can kill us. Here comes Lurie. Here comes Thievesies. Trigger, trigger, trigger. Thank you for all the mana. Appreciate it. It feels like a Soaring Thought Thief. I'm trying to think of anything that requires my graveyard to be full that they can do with 2 mana. Yeah, they're probably just going to Thought Thief here and mill me for a bunch and try to feel good about themselves, and then we're going to blow it all up. But let's see. Do your worst. Nothing? Coward. Okay. I'm just kidding. I say coward all the time. I'm just kidding. We'll take a land on the battlefield. Throwing it in the graveyard is very similar, but we don't have too many lands. So we want to play this on odd. If we attack, we might get the opponent to play a Thought Thief, then Verdict gets all of it, so I guess we test that water. There's no risk of it getting countered because we have the Dispute. We do want to leave ourselves options, but we don't need many. Like, we can buy the Kaheera, right? We don't want our opponent to get to do anything too good. So having a smaller graveyard helps with that. I choose odd. How much more can they take, do you think? Well, what you gonna do? Another Heartless Act, okay. Fighting off those sharks. Just one by one. Battling those sharks. Send in the sharks. Opponent's flashing in that Thought Thief, okay. All right, there's 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. What you got now? Welcome to a shark attack. There we go. That is a proper Typhoon. On the draw, we've got Sweepers. There's no companion, so it's probably aggro. We have an early spell. I think we keep it. And we play blue-black control. But we're going to need to draw some land. I'm not feeling the 6-drop Armada piling in. If you're not Luminarch Aspirant, I don't know who you are. Bingo. Okay. Having fun yet? This is on the draw, mind you. Should not get stuck on land. Oh my goodness. Alright, we really need a land, because every Shark Typhoon block is way better than a Shark Typhoon cycle. It's a tapped land. Cool. Cool. Not out of it yet, though. They don't have Faceless Haven. If I saw a Faceless Haven here, I'd be really sweating. Okay, they love this Alseed, which is good, because we get to name odd. Interesting. Well, I guess this is a tapped land, right? So they have no Shark Typhoon to fear. All right, guys. If we crack the passage first, statistically, it lowers our chances of drawing a land. But the fact of the matter is that the shuffler is rigged. So do we cycle before and not draw a land, or after and definitely draw a land? Oh, we lose. Cool. Great. Wow, they really had to think about that. That's funny. That is so funny that they were thinking about that at all. At this point, it's the shuffler science. Uh-huh. Cool. Cool. You love to see it. We're playing rogues again. We've already beaten this opponent. They should be retired from Magic forever. We should never have to play them again. But here we are. Do we take a mull here? We have pretty good mana and land drops, and we're on the play. I don't think we can, but you really want to have a nest. However, the opponent's seen our deck. They've seen what Titan's Nest can do. They might just play around it because of scars we left in a previous battle. So you might just see them like never tap out again. Could be fun. Yep, play your crab. Do it. Okay. Ooh. That's one dead Thought Thief coming up. We could have also tried to play it on their turn, and if they used a negate to protect it, we'd be happy, but we didn't see a negate out of them last game, and we don't have many cards in the graveyard, so this nest might just resolve. If they have, let's see, if they have Thieves Guild Enforcer, and they have Drown in the Lock, that would be terrible. But we're going for it. Cling. Dispute? What? And the Enforcer? Okay. Come on. Shenanigans. I declare shenanigans. Pure shenanigans. Not a bad card. I want the Rain of Revelation to rain down and fix our hand a little, and then try to play some kind of removal. We can't afford to spend, like, this turn cycle just casting a 1-mana card. Bye, Luris. Okay. Hold up, let me fill my own graveyard. There's a nest. So, can we draw our Mystical Dispute? That's the question now. Do I discard a land? I guess. We have mana open to play a Drown in the Lock. Should I just go for this, or should I try to draw out their counter spells in other ways? I think the sweepers will eventually get their attention with counter magic. So let's throw a deadweight on this Enforcer. Checks for priority, then passes. Interesting. I'll also buy a companion. Manual taps. Has to be into the story, right? Okay. I think this game is much more lost than the other one. Lurie want to play? Okay, Lurie wants to play. We don't have enough mana to threaten with, like, Extinction Event and Titan's Nest, unfortunately. We have to work on that. We just have to try to run them out of stuff, which, if you know rogues, it's almost impossible. But we also just don't have any good threats. We've got all answers. Oh, there goes our negate. Ugh, okay. Drown. So next we try the Verdict, and then the turn after that we try Nest into Event, probably, although they'll have a Thieves Guild Enforcer at that point. Maybe I was supposed to just draw out the Drown a lot sooner with the Nest, but I treat the Nest like the queen, and I try not to bring it out too early. So let's see, maybe we can get lucky and top deck something good. Yeah, so good. All right, let's crack. Let's see if they have double counters here and now. Interesting. You think they're saying that they can't beat a Nest, but they can beat other things? I think we have to test them now. They might also have another mystical dispute, but I think we have to go for it. It's our chance to win the game. Okay. Nest in place. We now have a billion mana. Oh, are they gonna hold on? We gotta set full control, or if they exile something, like we can exile it in response. And they don't get the card, but not without full control. Full control, come on. No! I set the stops. I must have set them in the wrong place. Come on now, deck. I mean, I could also spam full control when I play this card. That's totally a thing, but come on now. That's silly. Where are we at? 28 cards. Okay. Jeez. All right. We do need cards, so I'll take this on the library. And then we need to make some mana and cast this Shadow's Verdict. If our opponent had another Into the Story, would they have played it? Probably. They have 2 cards in their graveyard, so they can't cast the Cling. Their hand is probably a ton of removal. We saw that in the last game, that they just play so much removal. So we gotta start somewhere. Nice. Hit ya with a Shadow's Verdict. Guess I can't. All right, this will probably die. And we're out of cards, so there's a lot of bad things going down. It's just the way it is. So we could exile cards to the point where the opponent can't cast Into the Story on the cheat, but if they had it, I think they'd play it. They'll probably top deck it, but I think right now we'll just hang on to the mana and hope for the best. Okay. Graveyard, no, please don't flood anymore. No. No. All right. Library. We might find Epiphany, so let's just play this. We just have to go for things, I think. The more spells we play, the more likely we are to win. All right, so decline to discard the Typhoon. Let's drop these two off and keep going deep. I know we don't have that much library, but I think we've got to be aggressive here. Another Typhoon. Popping off. Popping off. What do we got in the top three? There's an Epiphany. Wait, we want to play around Mystical Dispute. We saw one earlier. So we need to leave 3 mana open, so we should just exile the 5. We can't pay it with the Titan's Nest. We have to pay it with spells, or with untapped lands, right? There's restrictions on what you can cast with Titan's Nest, and they do not help you with Mystical Dispute. If this resolves, the opponent's in huge trouble. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. That's a lot of damage. Better play some instants. That's 2 4/4s. It's better than a land, but there's definitely a bigger upside. Like, there's potential of hitting, like, Epiphany and ending the game. And if we wanted to, we could, like, check the deck contents and see what's left. There's a Professor Onyx, that would be great. There's 3 Epiphanies. Okay. We're going graveyard. We'll see if that costs me. There's a Thirst. Let's see if we can hit our opponent in the face with all this. Like, what is your hand? It's got to be like a bunch of Heartless Acts and Eliminates, right? There's an Eliminate. What else you got? Uh-huh. All right, let's see if we can find another Epiphany here. There it is. All right, 1, 2. Leave mana for Mystical Dispute. Let's try that again. Yes! Die, rogues! Ah! And we are back for the post-game wrap-up, and it beats rogues. Titan's Nest is pretty unbelievable against rogues, but there's actually a lot to playing with Titan's Nest, like setting the stops and exiling things at the right time, especially when the Computer doesn't think you have spells to play, so you need to have stops and put things on full control. A lot of opportunities missed there. You should be able to turn off their Cling to Dust that targets your graveyard whenever you want to, but it doesn't hold priority. So it's a little bit complicated. I did really miss having more counter spells in the deck. It just didn't seem like I found them when I needed them very often. So I don't know about that. I feel like there's some changes that could and should be made. This is the card I dislike the most, and I really do want to try the Learn card, Divide by Zero, and get to use some of the lessons I hid in the sideboard. I think Teachings in particular is a great one, since Divide by Zero bounces a card to their hand, and then it's pretty easy to dump your hand once you have a nest, and you need to keep going, so Teachings is sweet. Also, just having some kind of an answer to any type of permanent in Introduction to Annihilation seems good, because there are a lot of permanents we can't remove. There's nothing we can do about a resolved enchantment or artifact in the entire list, the way that's currently done. So just having that option, I think, sounds really good. Containment Breach is another good solution that we can hide there. So yeah, those are the changes I would make and at least try. I'm not positive they would be better. The deck is obviously a tuned up machine designed to do a very specific purpose. The number of sweepers and the number of spot removal. Another card I would try is Baleful Mastery, because often paying the 3 colorless mana cost is no problem once you have a nest. But early in the game, maybe you need that exile effect to get around a Selfless Savior. Early in the game, letting the opponent draw a card is a bad thing, but similar to Emergent Ultimatum, this deck just has an end game that seems to go over the top of everybody with the combination of Shark Typhoon and Alrund's Epiphany. I want to play more Professor Onyx. I never played her. Feels like a miss. Feels like a really good card with Magecraft to both drain out the opponent and the +1 to fill the graveyard and keep the engines turning with Titan's Nest. Seems really good to me, so I do want to try that. And like I mentioned already, like Reign of Revelation is the card that seems too expensive for me, and I don't know where else we could cut. Curate was okay. Strategic Planning was definitely better. So maybe Curate isn't necessary if we have Divide by Zeros, which are essentially 2 cards tied into 1, and maybe we can fit 1 more Professor Onyx in the deck. So, stats from MTG Assistant. You can download it for free. It is in the description, and if you use that link, it supports the channel. So, where are we at? Where did our little deck go? Is it this one? Did we really go 4-4 today? Didn't feel like 4-4. Felt better than that. Is it actually, like, did it not register something? Whoa, 1 time on the play, 100% win rate, 7 times on the draw. I don't make this up, guys. I really don't. Anyway, I also definitely played a little funky in some of those games and had some bad luck. I think the deck is probably a Mythic contender. It certainly did well in a competitive setting. It could be tuned for best of 1. Maybe I'll check in on it in a week or 2 if I have some more ideas to report. So, thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. Remember to go to coolstuffinc.com, use the promo code B2S for 15% off Mystical Archive singles. It ends on May 2nd. It supports what I do and what MTG Nerd Girl does. So, please do. You're cool. Oh, one more thing. For the only the coolest who haven't switched it off yet. Is that not a sweet shirt? Link in the description. Okay, bye.